Hello there, my dear. Are you feeling scared to share your writing and your stories with the world? Then you've arrived in the right place at the most appropriate divine time. Because today I'm going to be doing an oracle card reading to support you with navigating those fears so you can feel good to finally hit publish on what you're meant to put out in the world. So I can't wait to see what the cards reveal. We can get started. So the card deck that I am using is Work Your Light. By Rebecca Campbell, and Healing the Inner Child Oracle by Nina Mongendre. So we're going to start with Work Your Light, saying there's 3 cards they're going to share, and the Heal Your Inner Child will be our action and being cards. My apologies for my allergies. And I have recorded these at a time of day that I know now not to do it, because it's the afternoon and the light is hitting funky. So my apologies for how this may look on your end, but hopefully the cards and the the messages you receive, may those be more than enough. All right, so let's see what the first card says. Deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, and be held. They're sharing that in our world today, we can imagine that when we're scared of something, we're just supposed to go on and push through and figure out how to be courageous. And they're like, nah, yo, you just need a minute. Just give yourself a moment of replenishment and rest. Because if you've gotten to that point, then like pushing past the fear isn't gonna work. What's gonna work is like resting. And it says here retreat. Like what does it mean to just be with and not take action and not feel like you have to do anything with the fear or try to resolve the fear or move through it and make sure you still go and share your writing. Like they're like, if the fear is there, your job is to just tend to yourself. Like there's something calling to your attention at the moment. And the only way you can get to it is if you slow down enough to nourish yourself and get to the heart of it. Second card. Ooh, protection. And it's funny, the moment I saw the card, I saw the women in the circle, um, and their hands, and what feels like to me like this is not what I'm gonna accept right now. So they're saying like as you share your writing with people, like cover yourself in protection so that you only allow in what's meant to come in. Because that's the beauty of sharing ourselves, like, but we don't have to stay open. And not protection from a place of like, oh my God, I'm gonna be harmed and I'm scared and all, but like from a place of like, I will sovereignly choose what I allow to come into my energetic place and aura because you're sharing your work with the world. And that's going to require for you to decide like who is it that gets to come in and say whatever they want to say, who gets to have that kind of power over you. And you get to protect yourself and consider what that is. Because you don't have to just take it all in yourself. And they're saying like before you hit share, before you publish it, decide the ways in which you were energetically, spiritually, and mindset wise protect yourself so that you don't move into a place of feeling as though the writing wasn't good enough, you weren't affirmed. They're like, come at it from a very different place, a more responsible place to say, like, no, only certain people get to have a conversation with me about this piece of writing. Who are those people? What can you have a conversation about? Because they're also sharing that, like, the conversation may come from people who just want to be heard. And maybe that's what you can do, but that doesn't have to be about you. Because what they're saying is that, like, the writing is going to bring up stuff in other people, and that's their shit. Your shit is different. Can you hold space for both? For sure. But that requires a level of energetic boundary. of protecting yourself, of knowing like, oh, this is me. What is my stuff versus what is their stuff? Because it's from that place that you can actually have a conversation with people about it. From acknowledging like, no, 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 no. This is me. This is you. Where this is where we begin and this is where we end. And then really nourishing, yummy conversations come from that place. Long ones where people can actually hear each other. And they're also telling you like, if there aren't people like that right now and they want to have a conversation, they're not people to have a conversation with about whatever you're writing. At least not at this moment. Sometimes people need to take a moment. It's not your job to save people from the response that your writing may have on them. It's their job to responsibly show up and be like, uh-oh, what is this revealing to me? And they're saying this is both, this is also for people that you might be writing about, but also very much like has nothing to do with anybody you're writing about, but people are open their feelings about it because you hit something. And when you get to that place, they like show me this huge word. They're like, that's how you know you've been successful. When someone has been triggered into a new way of being, because they're like, darn, wonderful people in your life who can have these conversations will come forward and responsibly have those. There'll be other people who come and be like, but did you consider this? And did you consider this? And did you consider this? And you need to sit there and be like, oh, this is coming from some place in them, from this place in them that's hurt, maybe unwilling to see things or wants to rationalize things. That's them. It's not you. So they're saying make sure that you can separate yourself and what you're sharing from other people's perception and understanding of it. And they're saying you can also make mistakes and you can also maybe apologize, but that has to come from not a place of wanting to make sure you ensure people are comfortable. It comes from a place of like, oh, yeah, maybe I didn't do the best job there in that particular moment in representing something. Maybe I did miss that. Wow, that's like good for me to see. And what does that mean for me? Like, what does that mean about the story I've told? Like, you can do that work, but it has to be from a sovereign place. It can be from like the place of like, oh my God, of course they're right. And oh my God, no. They're like, no, 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 no. Because the writing you're meant to share with the world is gonna ruffle some feathers. People you know and people you don't know. It's not your job to fix it and comb those feathers out and do all that. Your job is to show up to do the work you are here to do and support people as need be. Hold space for them if that's what you desire, if that's what you think you're here to do, and make sure you know what stuff is yours and what stuff is theirs. Third card, Mintaken. I said that wrong. Oh no, I think I said it right. Mintaken. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, they're saying that almost all writing projects are ones that are associated with figuring out belonging. Either the story is about one of belonging, one of not belonging, and that's something. Sorry, there was like a bee right outside my window. Um, and then when we sit down to write, sometimes that's what we're doing. They're saying it's a practice in learning how to belong to ourselves before our work goes out in the world, that's what we're sort of training for, is to know that the process of putting it on the page is the journey to belonging to yourself first before you agree to put it out in the world and hope that it will belong to others or that it will help you belong to some group that makes you special of some sort. Because they're saying like the writing is the process to your becoming. It's through it and placing it on the page that brings you back to who you are. Because if you're there on the page, there's no running from it. You're representing yourself and everything you've undergone or whatever it is you decide to share there, and it's there. Yeah, because they're saying if you're on this video, it's probably because you're a woman who wants to share your personal stories. You're not necessarily here because you want to share fiction, but maybe you do something based more on personal. But they're saying like that whole process um has a lot of different dynamic factors of figuring out how to belong But before you seek that out beyond yourself, what does it take for you to belong and create a home within yourself where you're really, really in love with your own writing, appreciate it, and know what it's here to do? Because I said once you do that, and once you get comfortable in that, then when you put it out in the world, it just gets to be another wonderful treat in your life, a morsel of something that continues to add to your life experience. But it doesn't have to be the thing that makes or breaks like any of the idea that you have about your writing and what it's meant to do. So they're saying there are two being cards that will come up in the Healing Inner Child Oracle. So they said one is a being card and one is an action card. So the first card is a being card. Father. Mm. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even read the words, but the moment I saw this beautiful image, it was like it felt like an egg and like a place of completion. And they're like, how can you parent your own writing and parent this feeling in you that's coming up as a fear? Like, what would a really good parent tell you about these fears? Like one that's invested in you and what you're here to do without any condition. What would they help you be able to move through? What are the words that they would send you? What are the gifts that they would give you? And how can you allow yourself to receive them and be open to them and know that they're coming from this beautiful, beautiful place? From this being that literally just wants to see the highest and greatest good for you. Mm, yeah. They're asking me to invite you to close your eyes and just take 3 deep breaths in. Another deep breath in. And then exhale. And then one final deep breath in. And then exhale. Just begin to make your way into your heart space. Moving from the head, down your face, down your neck, and drop right into your heart. And answer these questions from that place. What would a really amazing parent who's in the care of you and your full well-being say to you and support you as you're navigating the fear of putting your work out in the world? How would they hold space for you? What would they show you? What would they want you to do with them? And what would they gift you? Remembering the gift can be anything, it doesn't have to be physical. It could be a bird chirping, it could be a color. Whatever gift would they give you to support you in navigating the difficulty of sharing your story? And now allow yourself to receive that gift. Take a nice deep breath in And exhale, just allow yourself to receive it and take it in deep appreciation and gratitude of how you're being supported. Mm. You can open your eyes when you're ready, and we'll conclude with our action card. Oh, destiny. And all I saw was like a beautiful little girl on like a ball, and I was like, oh, and those colors just like, mm, yeah. And they're asking you, how would you act if you just knew it was part of your destiny to share your story, that it was part of your journey? What if you already knew it was done? Not all it took was for you to be open to love, to growth. Because what's beautiful about this card is that there are hearts everywhere. And of course, the beauty of the circles upon circles, it's infinite. Sometimes I ask myself, like, what if this is what I've been preparing for my entire life? What if I've been preparing for this for lifetimes? If I knew that and I felt that, what would I do next? What would feel like the next right best action? And they're saying that action doesn't have to be sharing your work. That action could be going to revere your work. That action could be sharing it just with one person you really, really love because they know you and they feel you and they're going to encourage you. They say that action could just be tending to yourself, to feel into the power of what you're meant to do. They're not asking for you to take action and share. They're asking you to take action to tend to the fear in a way that feels really responsible for your heart and your mind and your soul. All right, so I'll review the cards as we wrap up. But before I do, in case you don't know who I am Dr. Raquel, and I am a writing coach, and I'm also a spiritual mentor, and I am the founder of the Writing Corner. And in our membership for women of color, the Writing Corner, I help visionary women of color be able to move from writing, what's expected of them, to courageously sharing their personal stories that reflect their full lived experience so they can make more money with their words. And if this video has been helpful to you thus far, then make sure to hit subscribe so that you can get notice of all my future videos. And I encourage you before I wrap up this reading to really slow down and allow yourself to take a moment and see what your fears are asking of you in this particular juncture. And sometimes we try to just like move through it and we know we have to do things. And as the card so lovingly said, right? Take a moment of rest and retreat, replenish yourself so that you can actually move through this with the amount of energy, love, and gusto that you have. And then protection. Make sure you place yourself in the best position to feel as though you're putting your work out there from an empowered place, knowing that your work is going to shift people's lives. But first, you have to know what belongs to you before people come to talk to you about what has stirred up in them. And then this wonderful card of belonging, of like, how do you create a sense of home within you by allowing yourself to write the story that you're meant to, and that first step in that journey of writing it was your path to belonging to yourself before anyone else. Your card for being was bringing in the guide, the people, the beings, that can parent you and help you move through this fear because you're not alone and they can support you. And they're also saying this can also be the support of others that you may hire, whether it's a coach, a therapist, someone who helps you with different kinds of body work, like whatever it is, there are others in your life who can support you if you open yourself up to receive that. That also had me remind you from the exercise we did, like what was the gift you received? And can you somehow place that around you as like a representation of some sort so that you can anchor back into that and the way that you're cared for by the divine and other beings so that when you hit share and post and blog, like you do it in full knowledge that you're not doing it alone. And then the final action card calling you to move forward as though it's already done. What action would you take if you knew that? How would you tend to yourself right in this moment if you knew you were already going to do it? Right now, they're saying like you're not deciding whether or not you're going to do it. What you're trying to do is figure out how to get to a place where you're going to do it because you know it's your destiny. So if you know it's going to happen one day, what do you need right now to make that happen? Right? Thank you all for joining me for this reading. It has been so amazing to support you. If you want to learn a little bit more about what's keeping you from sharing your writing, as well as some like real tangible ways to move through it, then check out my next video where I help you change your mindset so that you can get your work out in the world sooner rather than later. I'll see you there.